The blockbuster story broke overnight on the Politico website, reporting that a draft of the Supreme Court's opinion shows the court overturning Roe v. Wade in a blistering ruling.
What we have now seen since the leak of the authentic draft opinion overturning Roe versus Wade is the left weaponizing this draft to attempt to, as early as next week, codify Roe versus Wade into federal law.
Be prepared for the scorched earth tactics of the left on this issue. They truly believe the ends justify the means, no matter what laws or what norms they have to break, and be prepared for a Kavanaugh-like approach.
So they've got their legislative approach, their protest pressure approach, and they're praising the leaker. There's even U.S. senators saying we shouldn't even find out who the leaker is. That's how little respect they have for the court when they so choose to have little respect for the court. If the court was upholding Roe versus Wade, they'd be praising the U.S. Supreme Court.
They're going to try to delegitimize the Supreme Court. They're going to try to interrupt its procedures. They're going to try to threaten, intimidate, and harass individual justices. Then they're going to move on to proposing that we pack the Supreme Court.
We now have to do a three-prong attack. We've got a team of lawyers already researching if they do try to codify Roe in the federal government, what that means. That's number one. Number two, we are going to go after this politically. And number three, they're going to make a move to try to do court packing. They've already said that in their court commission that President Biden put in. This plays right into it.
I think that what the court is looking at, unfortunately, in the last few years, is this unrelenting attack on it as an institution.
When Joe Biden says this is why you got to fight so hard on this issue.
The idea that we're going to make a judgment that is going to say that no one can make the judgment to choose to abort a child based on a decision by the Supreme Court, I think goes way overboard.
We said that the abortion laws have distorted the First Amendment. Justice Alito, in his draft opinion, says, yes, cites one of our cases, distorted the First Amendment because all the rules changed. But now you got the President of the United States saying, abort a child.
He's saying the word child. Now, again, that is the key, is they used to be so scared of even acknowledging that word because they wanted to use abortion distortion to make you think this is just a bunch of cells. That's not accurate scientifically anymore, but they're actually admitting to saying, you know what, people should have a judgment about whether they want to kill a kid or not.
Now, according to Biden, 76 million Americans are the most extreme political faction in history. Half the country, Joe?
Did you know that by putting America first, by caring about American values and liberty, free speech, the ability for people to share different opinions, that President Biden considers you, the MAGA crowd, as really, this is exact words, really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history. Then I guess he called himself, so that he said in recent American history.
Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
They use that kind of language, they are coming after you. That's exact. It's giving a green light to all the government agencies to say, target these groups.
We keep hearing how President Biden was going to bring the country together. Oh, by the way, I'll bring you together, but you're evil and the worst extremist in American history.
He has weaponized the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security, already weaponized with their board that they put up. He has weaponized the Department of the Treasury, which includes the Internal Revenue Service. So as soon as they get back in power, they tried the same things, but this time, I think more nefariously and more dangerously.
No matter how you feel about the MAGA crowd, this is an authoritarian assault on our freedom, and we need to stand together very strongly against this attempt to intimidate and silence anyone who holds political views that are different from or opposed to what this president and his administration are furthering.
But this idea, again, to demonize your political opponents this way, and that is what they're doing. It's not to say don't vote for them because I strongly disagree with their views. It is the demonization, and then we see the weaponization of these various agencies of our government.
The Biden administration this week announced a new Disinformation Governance Board within the Department of Homeland Security, the second largest agency behind the Department of Defense.
The person you've put in charge of this governance board, let's flashback to when she was doing an online forum on civic duty. This is, again, Nina Jakowick talking about what is your civic duty.
Most of the disinformation that we've seen, this highly emotionally manipulative content, is coming from the right. If you look at the top 10, most engaged with posts on Facebook or Twitter on a given day, they are usually posts that are coming from the right. And that's because the right does deal in this highly emotional rhetoric. Highly emotional rhetoric is protected speech. I can be highly emotional about what I believe in. That does not need, I don't need a government censor to ever step in there. There is no question about that. Hyper emotional rhetoric is protected speech.
Do you really think that Jankowicz is anywhere near objective enough for this particular job?
I don't question her objectivity. There are people in the department who have a diverse range of views, and they're incredibly dedicated to mission.
Fascism is about shutting down dissent. And what the Biden administration is doing is shutting down dissent. They're afraid to have a conversation.
This has to be stopped. It's not about who is in that position. There shouldn't be a position.
Right. They are crushing dissent everywhere they can, including big tech, including our conversations about elections.
You have the right to make these statements. But the idea that they're justifying it now by saying, oh, well, we have to do this because we have to get misinformation from drug cartels controlled, as if the FBI and DHS can't do that already.
That's why it's just a bogus
nonsense, folks, what they're trying to pull over the American people.